What did you say about her?
She's pretty.
No, but you said something else. Validate my feelings.
I like her lip gloss. She's really pretty.
No. Validate my feelings. You said something before that. Just say it. Just say it.
She looks like you.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I want you to turn me in to Bella Hadid.
Done and done.
I know it's been so long since we had glam hair.
This is perfect.
Bella has that look that many young people admire. There's no denying it though, Bella Hadid is attractive. According to science, Bella Hadid is the most beautiful woman in the world. She's graced countless magazine covers and ruled global runways, building one of the biggest modelling careers out there, and who could argue with that? A supermodel whose look is literally defining modern beauty, but also presents a very specific, and for many young women, an unattainable standard of beauty. Bella's mother is Yolanda Hadid. She appeared in The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and she was also a former model. Now, her older sister is Gigi Hadid, and she's also the famous supermodel that everybody knows. And her father is Mohammed Hadid, a real estate developer known for building luxury mansions in Los Angeles. But Bella didn't always look like this. The truth is, she looks almost unrecognizable compared to those early photos, and it is kind of shocking. You wouldn't even believe it's the same person when you compare her to her more recent photos. It's easy to see why Bella's transformation has fueled endless speculation online. So how did she get here? Bella has admitted to one surgery. Back in 2022, she confessed to Vogue, yes, she'd had a rhinoplasty at 14, after years of denying any surgical alterations.
Make money from your image. You know, the reason people follow you on social media and that is because they look up to you and think, oh, that's a style icon. And that is how you make your business. To then lie and say you didn't have surgery and pretend you naturally look like this is so cruel and unfair. Because then there's all the people who look up to you and think, I want to be like them, thinking, oh, but they were born that way. They naturally look like that. And then they feel inadequate because they didn't naturally look like that. But if she'd just been honest and said, I had a nose job at 14, everyone would have understood and gone, all right, that's fine, because that makes you feel more comfortable with yourself. Go for it.
I think personally, it was disingenuous for Bella to portray, particularly for her younger audience, to portray that she was naturally a certain way and she didn't have any plastic surgery. And then years later, to come out and say she's had a nose job.
It really bothers me that women will look at other women and think that they are just naturally stunning, not knowing about all the things that they're doing to maintain their look and their beauty. I live in Los Angeles and this is like where everyone's obsessed with beauty. But I believe like if you're doing stuff like that, you may as well just be honest about it, because the worst thing that I could possibly think is a girl looking at me and being like, oh my God, I wish I looked like that. Like, she's so lucky. No, honey bunny, you pay for this. Transparency to me is the difference between something being extremely harmful and less harmful. So that's why I feel like it's important to talk about.
I think not being honest about her nose job has just kind of fed into more of the speculation over the years. Like if she came out and said, you know, I got a nose job, well, then it would have explained to many people because the change was so dramatic. You can see from her before and after pic that it was just absolutely obvious that she underwent a nose job. And she may have underwent several nose jobs because her nose just looks dramatically changed. It's smaller. You're not really going to achieve that within one nose job. But the degree of her transformation has many questioning if it's the whole story.
I wish there was more openness and honesty about the aesthetic procedures celebrities are getting done. It became very clear to everyone that Bella did get a nose job, but she herself announced it. And she also denies any other aesthetic work that she's gotten done. Like many others.
Bella Hadid admitting to having a nose job at 14 years old but denying all the other very evident plastic surgery is the perfect example of celebrities only telling half truth. You know how like some of them will admit to having a boob job but then claim to have done nothing to their face? That sort of thing.
I've been thinking about why celebrities lie about plastic surgery unprovoked. Bella Hadid does this quite a lot. What's weird is that nobody even asked, but she just laughingly denied it unprovoked. Why lie about something so obvious when it hasn't even been brought up? In my opinion, it's to do with shame, i.e. the shame of being not naturally beautiful. By the way, I think Bella was naturally beautiful without any enhancement. To be with Vogue, she also said that she had had a nose job at the age of just 14. This after years of outright denying having any plastic surgery procedures at all. For this procedure to take place when Bella was a minor, her primary caretaker must have signed off on it. By doing that, Yolanda essentially told Bella that the natural beauty she possessed wasn't enough, which isn't what you need to hear from your mother at such a crucial stage in your development. Now we know that Yolanda is a pragmatist and she was obviously thinking about Bella's future career as a model, and she was right in the sense that Bella may not have become the huge model that she is today without those procedures.
Was Bella's glow up transformation really down to a nose job, or is there more to the story than Bella's letting on? I'm digging deep, breaking down every feature to uncover what I think is the reality behind one of fashion's most famous faces. The purpose of this video is to show you that the beauty we see on celebrities isn't always natural. A lot of what is praised as perfect has been enhanced behind the scenes. And many of these women, as flawless as they may seem, have insecurities like everyone else. You never need to match a look that's not even natural to begin with. Your unique features are your strength. You are enough just as you are. Remember that. In that same Vogue interview, Bella shared a sense of regret, famously saying, "I wish I'd kept the nose of my ancestors. I think I would have grown into it." Here, Bella is referring to her Palestine heritage on her father's side. Bella had more of her dad's facial features, and you can actually see from her earlier pictures that she had a very similar nose to her father's. Bella's admission and her regret gives us a painful look into the pressure she was under at such a young age. She talked about feeling like the uglier sister compared to Gigi, the brunette who wasn't as cool as her famous sibling.
And as someone who loves Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and watched the years where Bella and Gigi and Anwar were on the show, because Yolanda Hadid, then Yolanda Foster, was on the show, I just feel really muddy about this. I feel really yuck that these girls in particular were on this show so young, that Bella grew up with the pressure of having a supermodel sister in Gigi, and that she had a mother who approved of her getting a nose job at 14.
The fact that Bella got a nose job at 14 also raises ethical questions about teen plastic surgery and the psychological weight placed on young women growing up in a world of unrealistic beauty standards. For years, Bella felt like she had to put on a strong face to hide her anxiety and depression, according to that same Vogue interview. This one surgery gives us a huge insight into the pressures that have shaped her life and her career. But according to Bella, that's where the story of surgery ends. And when you look back of older photos of Bella, the change is undeniable. Her original nose was beautiful, but it was broader with a softer tip. After her surgery, her nose is significantly slimmer, with a much more refined and narrow bridge. Okay, now let's talk about her brows and her eyes, the feature that has sparked the most speculation and has become her signature look. In her earlier photos, Bella has beautiful, but fairly conventional straight-set eyes. Over the years, they've morphed into her signature look, an elongated, upturned, almond shape that people now call the fox eye. Over the years, Bella basically has been the poster girl for this trend.
Have you been looking for this Bella Hadid fox eye lift?
And because of Bella Hadid's fox eye, it's been trending. People want the fox eye look, they want the sharper eyebrows, they want their eyes to be at upward tilt. So
to be honest, I saw that Bella Hadid got a fox eye lift done, allegedly, and I was like, yeah, I want that. I didn't just get a fox eye lift though, I got it done in 3 different areas on my face. Also, I spent £2,000 in total.
When I was looking at photos and stuff on cosmetic surgeons' pages, this is like one of the main photos that they use to advertise their fox eye threads. And I believed that this was the same procedure that Bella Hadid had gotten for her fox eye threads and all those other celebrities. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. And it didn't really cost that much. I thought it was going to cost a lot more. It was only $2,000. So I was like, why not?
But when asked about it, Bella had a much simpler explanation. This is what she told Vogue. Whoever thinks I've gotten my eyes lifted or whatever, it's face tape. The oldest trick in the book. The question is whether face tape alone can create a look so consistent across all situations, from paparazzi shots, from one-ways, from candid photos.
Bella Hadid has claimed multiple times that she hasn't had an eyebrow lift or any sort of fox eye lift. This is her before and this is her after. I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but in her before photo, her eyebrows are actually laying right on top of her brow bone. But in the after photo, you can see her eyebrows are a little bit above the brow bone. So naturally, our brows are supposed to lay on our brow bone. Like, for example, mine is on my brow bone, but like if I lifted it, it would be a little bit above the brow bone. This is another photo of Bella before and after. You can see the eyebrows are pulled that way.
I don't buy the whole face tape thing. I really don't. Her brows have remained lifted. The permanence of her brow shape points to a more surgical procedure, in my opinion anyway. I believe that Bella's fox eye is not down to Botox or a tread lift. I believe that it's a surgical brow lift procedure known as a temporal brow lift, where all of the brow area is pulled up. And also, I believe that she's also had a cantoplasty. This is a surgical procedure where the outer corners of the eye are reshaped. Moving on to her facial structure. If you compare photos of Bella from 2014, 2015 to one of more recently, you will see the biggest difference is the contour of her face, obviously. As a teen, she had a more naturally fuller, rounder face. Today, she is known for that incredibly sculpted, angular look, with her sharp cheekbones and hollowed out appearance. So what has been Bella's explanation for the dramatic changes? Growing up and makeup tricks. She dismissed speculation in the Vogue interview that she did in 2022 and states, "People think I've fully effed with my face because of one picture of me as a teenager looking puffy. I'm pretty sure you don't look the same now as you did at 13, right?" We all know that Bella grew up in the public eye, and there is no denying it that there will be differences in anyone's facial features from 14 and in their 20s. But her entire evolution was photographed. The degree of changes to her facial features is just too significant to be natural, in my opinion. I think she's had buccal fat removal. Buccal fat removal is where they make incisions in the inside of your cheeks and they remove fat from the actual inside of your cheeks, and that creates a more chiseled look. Now, it is permanent and it's a pretty controversial trend.
Now, it's obvious why they totally want this surgery. I mean, obviously, like, who doesn't want, like, that chiseled jawline and, like, sharp, you know, like, cheekbone? It looks amazing. But some doctors actually do recommend against this. Board certified plastic surgeon Dr. Levine actually says that if you're talking about doing the surgery on a 25-year-old looking for that whistle look, I'd advise against it in almost all cases. And the reason why is because as you get older, you apparently lose some fat in this area, and so you look more gaunt.
I don't believe that such a dramatic look can be caused from weight loss or growing up. The degree of Bella's transformation is just so pronounced that natural changes alone, I don't personally buy. And the level of hollowing in her cheeks is just so extreme. I believe she's also had her apples of her cheeks augmented, possibly with fat transfer or a cheek implant. Then there's her jawline. It appears more sharper, more defined than in her youth. I think she's had some kind of liposuction to her chin area to create that more defined, more sculpted jawline look. Moving on to her lips. Now, from looking at photos from when she was younger, before she got her nose job, her lips appear noticeably thinner, particularly her upper lip. In photos after her nose job, however, her top lip appears noticeably fuller. Now, there's no way she just woke up like this one day. It seems likely that she began to get lip filler after she got her nose job. However, lip fillers are a procedure that Bella has repeatedly and strongly denied. In 2018, she said, "I'm scared of putting fillers into my lips. I wouldn't want to mess up my face." And in that Vogue interview from 2022, she did not hold back on her words. She said, "I have never used filler. Let's just put an end to that. I've no issue with it, but it's not for me." That being said, in more recent years, she could have undergone a lip lift, a surgical lip lift, as her upper lip remains fuller. And it is more on the natural side. Like with filler, you see, it can tend to sort of over time build up and it looks unnatural. She may have opted for this route as opposed to getting continuous filler because it's a more natural look. And with Bella's upper lip, it is more natural. It doesn't look overfilled or unnatural. So in order to maintain that kind of fuller lip look, she may have opted for this route, this surgery. Now, when you compare photos of Bella from 2018 to photos of her from 2019, her facial structure looks noticeably different, in my opinion. I believe she had gotten the ponytail facelift, possibly around 2019. Her face appears noticeably tighter and more lifted, and her brows are more higher, and her jawline appears more sculpted. The thing is, once you start tweaking bits here and there with plastic surgery, sometimes you end up looking like somebody else. And that somebody else that Bella Hadid is compared to quite often is Carla Bruni, a 90s supermodel. Now, I'll tell you something. Carla Bruni could actually pass as Bella Hadid's mother. This is how alike they look. And there's even speculation that Bella herself or her mother might have actually wanted her to look like Carla Bruni.
It is so crazy how Bella Hadid literally just copied this woman's face. So if you don't know who Carla Bruni is, this is a photo of her. And she was friends with Bella and Gigi's mom when they were growing up. And you cannot tell me that Gigi and Bella's mom did not show these photos to Bella and be like, this woman was really successful in her modeling career and this is what she looked like. And Bella went to go get the surgery to look like her, because this is absolutely insane.
Especially with Bella Hadid, because she's got that 80s model style. Well, if you look at her years ago on Housewives or anything, or just a photo on Google, she does not look much like what she looks like now. And she's got this incredibly specific look, which is literally this. So this is Carla Bruni years ago in like the 80s or something. I've never seen anybody else like a model with that nose, the cheekbones, even the lip shape. It's literally the same. So I'm thinking that she and Yolanda, who by the way is a genius, that woman knows what she is doing. She and Yolanda basically went to a surgeon or different surgeons and they were like, we want her to look like this.
And really, it is so wild to think. Could it be true? Could it not be true? I really don't know. But it is so wild. So, do you believe that Bella's transformation is all down to that one surgery, i.e. the nose job, makeup, or face tape? Or is there something more to it? Looking at the photos and hearing her side of the story, what's your take? Drop your verdict in the comments below. I'm curious to see what you think. And if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe.